Hello. Alright, I'm just going to quickly reference off my phone to make sure the camera's in a suitable location. It's hard, I don't have a computer with me, so I can't see it actively. How do I do this? Okay, live. Oh yeah. Oh, that's fine, I think. Yeah. It's a little like low, but yeah, that'll do. Alright. That will do. The setup is a little janky to say the least, but we get to be out in the great outdoors. Although it is really fucking hot. Yeah. You can probably hear it, all the crickets and whatnot. Okay. Chuck on some tunes. Maybe see Spotify Wrapped today. Can I just listen to like my what do I want to listen to? One of my earphones is not working, or is it? Oh no, it's just multi-channel. Okay. Big brush, I reckon. Yeah. I honestly just have to clean my palette from yesterday. Yeah, sadly this paint goes to waste, but I need a new palette anyway. Just get some tips, and I sort of just scrape off all the paint with a palette knife. Ugh. Jesus. I got I may have a sale going. Oh! Fine, it's fine. I got sprayed with water. It's irritation's going off. This is my strap for cleaning my palette. I sort of just like wipe it with an old brush and some dirt. And then just wipe it down with an old rag. Okay. Get a new rag. Won't be needing to use much. Sorry about the sound of all the stuff blowing out. Hopefully won't need these either. I'm gonna put them there, keep them out of the sun. Hands are already covered in paint and I haven't even started painting yet. Standard. That brush. Sorry for the slow start, I sort of trying to pick a kit. Alright, that'll do. Whoa! Shit! Oh god. Roll that up. Sorry. I gotta probably wash my hands in a sec. Okay. Let's peep the reference photo. What colors am I gonna need? I like warm, sort of orange. I don't know a lot of stuff. Brown, yellow, red, white, black, blue. Yeah, okay. A lot of black and white as always. Quite a large amount of yellow right there, I think. Red and brown for sure. And then I reckon make blue. I have a bit of a sniffly nose today, so I apologise in advance if that is a delayed. It's not really a cold because it's so hot, but I don't know. Hay fever thing. I have a pre-mixed jar of half terps and half linseed oil. Alright, I'm gonna go wash my hands, they're covered in oil. And let's get a bowl rolling. Oh, wow. I got water on my camera. Hold on. Okie dokie. Let's do this. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna start with this area over here, which is sort of a white, bit of grey, yellow. Honestly, like a tiny bit of blue and a bit of yellow. This is probably too bright. I don't know. Nah, that'll do. I'm gonna go really rough, alright? So bear with me. As much as I really like my soft line work here, you can't be too cautious, you know, you just gotta go in. Bit of like natural variation as well. I like to just sort of have like some lighter and darker spots. Just keep like changing it up. I'm using a very bristly brush here as well, just to keep it nice and loose. I think it's more blue, if I'm being honest with myself here. A little bit more blue, like that, yeah. Gotta trust my line work here as well. I'm basically looking at the photo briefly for like color ideas, but I'm trusting my own line work that I got it in the right spot. I'm not really looking at the photo for any of that kind of thing. Oh, that's weird. There's like this, what is this? So like that. A very, very subtle. It's like that. Weird. I think now it's just a lot more grey. More grey, blue. Like that, yeah, that's good. Maybe even like a little bit of purple. I'm gonna add like a little bit of red and blue in here. Oh, it's way too much. Crap. It's like a weird mix of lots of stuff. I think I'm actually going to put some purple on my palette as well. And I always see purple in a picture. It's good to use it. I always love an opportunity to throw in some magenta or some violet. You don't often get the chance, so. Purple, white, black. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's actually better. It's definitely like more in line with what it is. Da, 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 da. I'm doing like, you could do this with a big brush if you were wiser, but I'm choosing to use a small brush so I get lots of just like natural color and stroke variation. Make it a bit more interesting to look at, give it a bit of texture. And her hair is really white. Oh yeah, there's that. That's that proper like purple. Maybe I'll go for like a. Okay, well, before I even say what I'm gonna go for, I gotta loosely explain that my process often changes drastically as I work on it. I'm not coming into this with a singular vision of what I hope to achieve. I sort of let the process of doing it lead me. For instance, right now, I'm sort of digging like, keeping like a consistent color scheme based off the reference, but being just like a little bit more exaggeration in what colors are there. Because the actual picture, like you could do this wall as like grey. It is kind of just grey, but throwing in like a bunch of color, I think makes it kind of more interesting. Oh yeah. And the thing is, my approach with these ones lately has been, I sort of do the whole thing and then I paint over it with with like a sort of clear, with a clear layer of like light wall and stuff. Basically tint the entire picture and then essentially paint it again and pull back in details that I like that have been lost to the tint. And so this very first layer, it's important in like setting the direction for it, but a lot of these things won't necessarily stay, you know, if I'm like, oh, this wall is actually way too bright or too colorful, that I can actually just straight up change throughout the process. But it's good to start somewhere interesting. And you can see I'm no longer looking at the reference for this wall because I know that it's all this tone. It does, oh no, that's way too much. Ooh. It does get more like a blue-gray as it goes along, I think, and so I need to make sure I get that in there. Now, it's not very fair to a viewer because obviously you haven't even seen the reference, so you don't know what the heck I'm looking at, what I'm thinking about, but I can't really be bothered to set it up so that you could see it. I did it once, but I don't know, it's kind of a pain. I like this sort of just simple little setup. Hopefully, I can't tell if anyone's watching, which is probably for the best, because I can just pretend in my head that there's always someone interested. Keeps me talking. If I'm able to see it and I can see that there's no one there, then I just wouldn't like talk necessarily. I mean, I might, if I get bored, talk to myself, which I'm probably doing right now. The blue. Oh yeah, it's way more blue. Too blue. Get a bit of that purple in there. Hopefully on the camera, I don't know what the image quality is like, but hopefully you can see this like color variation that I'm sort of building up here. Just like kind of nice and colorful. I think I need like a little bit more of like that dark yellow that I started doing at the start. Like there's sort of these colors and that and that. This is more of a brown than anything, but just to make sure it's not too forward, I'm sort of pushing it back a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Guys, like, so colourful. Jeez. Okay, I did say it's deliberate. Alright, gonna add like a lot more white. Brighten up this, make it like a little 3D. And I think this edge as well, which is very soft edge at the moment. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Woo! They're onco today. Oh, there's that purple. I have a very messy palette, so every time I pick up paint on my brush, it's sort of like a different sort of random mix of the within the range that I've set, you know, I've made like a sort of grey mix with a little dabble of blue in there and purple, but every pickup is going to be like slightly different. Interesting. It's weird sort of stone. Sure. A little bit of like black in here, but very like only slightly darker than what we had before. I'll move in front of it for a second here. I'm going for like extremely soft color scheme here, just because the one thing I really love about this reference is how soft it is. It's like a sort of old Polaroid of like I think it's like a foggy morning or something like that. My dad took it a long time ago. So I'm using such like a messy, bristly brush. Let's get like a little bit of a highlight on these as well. Just a little bit. Make sure they're popping forward. Kind of nice. Now I gotta look at the reference and see how completely off base I am. So the reference is a fair bit darker, I think, but like I said, I can kind of fix that later. But I think I will. Over here, for instance, it's got like quite a dark edge with a little bit of like brown. much terps on my brush and not enough actual paint. Let's fix that. There we go. That's more like it. Kind of like these edge highlights. Get like some edge highlights on this. Emphasize the form of this. There we go. Pretty good. Very green patch right here. Let's see. What is going on there? What is that line mean? Why is there a line there? Oh! Oh! Okay, it was basically the same color. I'm gonna have to denote this on my, this is gonna be slightly wrong, but there is actually like a thing there that's different. It's not the same thing. Let's look at that. I'm gonna have to like change the color slightly more, I think, than it is in the picture, because it's barely noticeable. I'm gonna make it like quite a bit darker than the wall, I think. Oh, there's way too much terps on that. Oh. Okay, boom. And there's an edge there. I think that's a clear edge. And then if I just like go slightly lighter on the actual wall, it's probably a bit too much lighter, but it's that damn soft light. So difficult. No harsh edges really, just everything's... I don't know if that's a very clear distinction between these two things, but they are different. The door is not very straight. Yeah, that's fine. Now the top edge of these is it's actually like a fair bit darker. It's dark, but you still need to soften that edge because you don't want any really harsh edges. Everything needs to be soft. Probably using slightly the wrong brush for this task, but no, I'm just working. I'm spending like longer than I probably should on this back wall, but the first part that I do on a painting tends to set the tone for the rest of it. So I'm sort of figuring out what I'm wanting to do with it at this stage. It's a little different to my more recent paintings since the light is so soft. Usually I start out with like a very messy palette knife, but it just wouldn't work for this. I think that's, this comes out a little further, but that's about it on that wall. This is also different again. I'm going to make a distinction. Like that. Very, very similar color, but just enough of a distinction to be clear that it's not the same exactly. I think that's something really interesting about the really soft light is these very like subtle hue and gradient shifts. They're like, their edges are clashing, but oh yeah. I think this is like a little sideways shed. It has this is the darkest I'm gonna go at this stage. Probably one of the darker spots on the painting is this line here. Okay. There's some details there which I'm going to have to bring in much later that I would quite like to become relevant, but Alright, let's try and get some like proper white in there. The strongest light seems to be coming from above, so it's really just like a rim highlight on anything that would be protruding, like these. Yeah. There should be like an edge there. Also gonna give like a sort of rim highlight on this side as well, because I think that's where the strongest light is on this side. Or the second strongest light. So this like is a rim as well. Like this here. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. There's sort of like a brick pattern as well, but I'm not going to worry about that on this layer. I may have some like subtle suggestion of it later, but look, I think that's probably as good as it's going to get for some time. This part. Anyway. Bringing a bit more of that blue back in real quick. I think this has more blue to it as well. I'll often say this is like the best and sound like I'm about to move on and then not. Pretty standard. I'm a liar. I'm not like worrying about any kind of actual texture or like proper detail at this stage. It's kind of just the colors, making sure all the colors are right, because on these big paintings I find the better the just like the basic color is, rather than the details, it kind of works better. It's less work for me, so I suppose. I'm gonna now come in with one more level of like black. One for like here. One for like there. One for there. Now I'm actually also just like pushing it back with that black, like all these bits, which I think should be a lot darker. Sorry, I'm standing in front of the painting. I just needed to like really dial in for a second. A bit of highlight there and then I'll be done. Maybe this is put a bit of that purple back in. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. There we go, it's just like a little softer, to the extent that I think you could even get rid of like that sort of line a little bit. Far more implied. Trying to avoid having too many lines because it's supposed to be foggy. A good way to make it atmosphere without having to do too many layers of fog painting is just to not have like really harsh shapes. You sort of soften everything. Yeah, I think that's nice. Yeah, I like it. It should be a bit darker, but I'll fix it up later. I'm just gonna wash my hands. I'll do that. Alrighty. What do I want to do next? That line needs to be straighter. Sorry. Can't move on. I'm gonna do this. Some color to contrast that. What do we got? Orange, brown. Hmm.
Turn the car around. James is a pig. I'll get him to move the car. Bring the dog, stay inside.
What do you mean by room? I can smell you.
So remember, all of this is recorded.
Oh. Yeah, I got the keys. Yeah, if you just move that car.
I'll just put the dog away and move the car. Lunch. Yeah.
Man.
Hmm. No, I need more of like a murky. Yeah. I think that's the right color actually. Murky yellow. Yeah.
Man.
What?
Like gap too big.
Well, for like parking the car.
Apparently I'm allowed, yeah, that's what I'm allowed to move it without legally, because it's on public road. I just moved it. Do I need to straighten up again?
Alright.
Are you live streaming YouTube?
Huh?
YouTube?
Yeah. Making sure there's lots of that. Alright. There's lots of these, it said I wasn't gonna do texture, but once again I lied. There's lots of these like interesting little, sort of like chips and cracks which seem to be creating these like highlights down this dark spot. Not too many, but just enough to be, I'll just adds a little bit of interest, I guess. Hilariously, this is actually more colourful in the picture. I'm currently underdoing the colour, so let's go a little wild with it. It's like orange. A little bit more like brown red in here as well. Just giving it a bunch of like little bits of texture with this colour. There we go, that's nice. And then that side I think is mostly just kind of black. I'm gonna use like a purple black there. Keep it kind of interesting. Oh, see, it's not even that black there. In comparison, it looks like intensely black, but for an image like this, I think using straight black is probably a bad idea. Let's just like keep it colorful. Maybe like a red black. I honestly always love red mixed with black. Dang. Weird looking, like the. I usually don't like resolve things this much at this stage. It's like very kind of strange to me to see like resolved stuff this early. It was kind of a fun strat to just go all or nothing off the bat. I like to leave a lot of this sort of blue bleeding through a bit, because I think it creates sort of an interesting, gives each painting like a bit of different character to like have the base color that they're started with infer a lot of the color choices throughout. Everything's sort of got this very light tint of blue just because of it. I think it's kind of interesting looking. I'm all about interesting color dynamics. General rule of thumb I find with this stuff is, with doing like really dark spots, is the bits that are next to like light spots should be darker. So it's sort of how your eyes work a little bit. It'd be like, if you're looking at a highlight, if you're looking like right at a highlight, then the black next to it is going to be completely overexposed, like your camera. So you sort of see it as darker than any of the other blacks, even if it's not. Because your eyes have adjusted to look at the light spots. Alright. Pretty interesting looking whatever that is. I'm gonna add some like really white highlight just like along here. There we go. Alright, happy with that. Oh, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I usually, every time I sort of finish a bit, I gotta walk away from it. Boo. I'm back.
What the?
Okie dokie, what do I want to do next? Sort of doing everything that's this sort of vibe, this sort of color scheme, I guess. Ooh. Trying to think of a name for a particular painting. Trying to think of what to call it. There's a painting of horses at the end of the day, let out into the afternoon heat, sort of almost coming to night. After a horse ride, but I almost want the title to incorporate the post-horse riding sort of wander. Horse riding. Maybe just like horses at the horses at the, what is the property called? It's called Florida. I'm calling it Florida horses. Florida horses is what it's called. It's very simple. I like it. Just a clean, simple name. I might go check if everyone's okay with that name. Sorry. like the chocolate coach because the reference image for this one is really soft,
Yeah.
which means I have to go in like fully resolved from off the bat basically. So I'm just like building like this very soft tones.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I fix up the car as well. The car is like crooked.
Oh yeah.
It needs to be like.
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to. It's sort of.
Come on.
Weird. I think, well, it is on like an angle because it's warped, but I think this bit
The
needs
car
to
is.
come up
It's
more.
important to get the car right. Car people will go. That looks like that.
Yeah.
Where's the exhaust? Where's the exhaust? Where's the spoiler?
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
This car looks like a shitbox.
That would have been
Mum, I
Old
need your.
busted car.
early 80s.
Yeah.
Could you find out some time for me?
Alright, I'm gonna just continue with We didn't manage to come up with a name, so we're just leaving it for the meantime. Figure it out over lunch. There's like red in here. Almost like a pink. Yeah.
Oh, Jazz, just shush. Shush it. What? Come on. Have you had the sprinkler come on?
Yeah, the sprinkler did come on.
Come on. No, I'm not going in there.
I need 2 minutes for lunch.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
of site. Instead of Florida Farm, Florida Station.
No. That's ridiculous. It's not a station.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it's Mum's family property. I think Mum probably is allowed to have
Okay.
more say in it than anyone else.
One possible title is Arizona, Florida, Central Queensland, or Florida Farm, Central Queensland.
It is. I was trying to like incorporate some like contextual hint to like.
Even if it's not true, like after the muster, Florida Farm.
Well, it was after a horse ride. It was like. You didn't even need to lie that it was like after the girls had gone on a horse ride.
That's a bit wrong.
Yes, apparently, food is ready soon.
That's not a bad one.
Sounds a little gloomy.
Actually, what about rides over Florida Farm?
Rides over. I think I have to go to the lunch now, so I will do that. This needs more red, quite a bit more red. Like that, almost looks kind of pink. Like that. Yeah. It's kind of cool looking. Alright, I'm gonna stop the stream because I gotta go to lunch. I'll be back at some point. At some point, eh? You could pivot into a gardening stream though.
Well, how exciting would that be?
Have a camera follow you around while you try and fix the irrigation.
Great idea, yeah.
Riveting stuff.
Oh, yeah.